out in front has driven such a great race, and since the safety car came out, this race has had his name all over it then. The Cadillac, all new team this season. Malone has got it all right tonight. He wins the Italian Grand Prix. Good afternoon, good evening, and welcome along everybody to MOR Esports, the Monday 6 p.m. division. And here for the Miami Grand Prix. It is the second round of an 8-round season. We started last week in Australia, and now here for, of course, the Miami Grand Prix. 8 rounds in a season. We go to Silverstone reverse next, Madrid after that, Brazil, Shanghai, Canada, and we round the season off in this particular division in Belgium. I think that'll be sometime in October. But some very good drivers, some very fast drivers here as well. A lot of pace in this tier in particular for the Monday afternoon. And 20 drivers joining us for this session with 14 minutes on the clock for a short qualifying session in some very wet conditions that the drivers are going to have to try and deal with here. Luke M to a 42.4. He sets first place there. Bolt drops down to second place. The first times are coming in, and it is very wet. It's going to be hard for the drivers to manoeuvre. Not as wet as maybe you think, though, as drivers on the intermediate tyres. The dry line is going to start to form, and the more laps that get put down, the drier the track will become. And the drivers, of course, will have to try and just take the drier line to keep their lap on the up and in the green delta. Bolt then in the first sector is up on time on his previous, and he's up by half a second here, a 45.3 at best, and he's got a lot of time to find in that when you compare it to Jensen and Luke M in the 42s and Saban in the 1 minute 40s, even quicker for the Cadillac. And this is exactly what you're going to see here in these particular conditions, where the gap between the qualifying times is going to be so large compared to what we're normally used to, of course, with the dry conditions. Bolt now up by 1.3 seconds, and as I mentioned, the gap is pretty big. Brownie then goes to third. Carmad Carl here on the Monday evening. I saw him on the Sunday. Nice to see him. He's here in second place. Brownie then in third. Luke M4, Jensen 5. Bolt then in sixth with a 45.3 as Lama, who took the win last week in Australia, to provisional pole in the 1 minute 39s. Bolt round the final turn, then across the line for the Alpine. Finds a second, but still P7. And unfortunately for him, not going to be enough to make any overtakes, to make any position changes. Scooters TV in the chat. Hello, mate. Good to see you. Welcome back into the stream. Of course, you've got to keep the stream, whatever you call it now. I forgot. The stream streak. There you go. Adam has been around but has invalidated on his goat, so P11 at best, and across the line to go once more. A lot of batteries. Oh, of course you can't. Actually, no, the battery is able to be used at the moment as the Audi just tried to go through. KHR into second place. He took third in the previous race in Australia. Saban now to a even quicker time, a 39.667. A brilliant lap time then for him. Goes quicker than Lama by about 0.3 of a second here. We're going to try and see what we can find. KHR has gone around as Carmad Carl in 4. Mr. Smith now across the line to P3 as he finds some time in a McLaren across the line. It might be Kian. It is Kian now to P11. There's two Kians racing here today. We've got some more drivers across the line, looking like an Alpine of Spadang Spoof, and it will be P17 starting a lap, I believe, for him now down towards the first corner. Lama goes quicker. It's a 39.5 for Lama. As we're going to go back to Bolt, this might be a lap again. Oh, never mind. Invalidated on this go. We're going to go to the Ferrari of Twitch Brands then. Round the final turn. Up towards the line then here in qualifying. The first time in the afternoon for Twitch Brands is P11 with a 44.508 here in Miami. Not a bad effort to start with, as Jack plays with a 4.5 of a second time found in that middle sector and the first sector too. Now into the final third for the Ferraris. Teammate has just gone up to P11. Can Jack Blaze get anywhere near that place here as he makes his way around the final turn and up towards the line, the end of the second sector? He has been through and now towards the final third. Jack Blaze across the line then. It's going to be 0.8 of a second found, but still a 46.365 for him. Adam hasn't validated again and seems to be really struggling them in the track limits and the warnings around here to still be on the invalidation. It's not really going the way that he'd like it to go at this moment in time. Spadang's Booth then has got the low fuel mode on, meaning that most likely he'll be coming into the pit lane very soon in that Alpine. On his way round the final turn and towards the line, though. He continues on. This is looking like a lap time for him. Then across the line for Spadang Smooth. It's P5 for him, but Llama once again goes even quicker in the Mercedes. It's a 38.831 for provisional pole as the qualifying session progresses. But what a lap time there for Llama with a 38.831 provisional pole at the moment. Yellow flag showing as some drivers slowing down. We're going to go back to a Ferrari here. It's Twitch Brands across the line with a second found. It is P10 for him. Then we've got an Audi coming round. Could be Matt Connor starting the lap. It is Matt Connor across the line. Let's see what Matt Connor's got to offer the track today and the lap times. I'm excited to see where he can place himself then. The Audi's teammates of KHR up in fourth place. KHR finished third place in the previous race in Australia, and that will mean, of course, third in the Drivers' World Championship. Matt Connor, I don't know where he lines up. That's because the Drivers' Championship and the Constructors haven't been posted, I don't think. So I've not seen them just yet, but I did see the session results, and it was Llama who won in Australia from Wishing Siren, and then KHR took third. But Matt Connor through the first sector, it's looking fairly decent. If you go on board with the Audi, he's going to have to judge this braking zone quite well here. It's still fairly wet. You can see the dry line really starting to form now, though. As out of the way gets the Williams. Matt Connor drifting to the left-hand side, but trying to keep it hooked up towards the wall. Now braking hard, hitting the wall on the right-hand side momentarily, but shouldn't have lost much lap time from that. Slightly misses the apex as he turns the car in, but back on the throttle, on the power, and now down the back straight then. Where can Matt Connor place himself on that timing board? P21 for him. And at the minute, no time just yet. He is one of 6 people that haven't set lap times, but about to do so. And it looks fairly decent. And lap by lap, the track just getting quicker and quicker and quicker. Matt Connor towards the line now then. Where can he place himself in qualifying? It is just behind his teammate by about 1/10 of a second. Matt to 5, and KHR manages to hold on to 4th then at the moment. A very nice effort from both Audis who get themselves up in 4 and 5. Go back to Mr. Smith then through the second sector, up by 0.3 of a second so far on this lap overall. The middle sector is showing best, showing purple in the middle sector. And now the Haas is going to make his way all the way down towards the last few corners here in the Miami Grand Prix circuit. An iconic one racing round the, of course, the Hard Rock Stadium and across many car parks. But Mr. Smith now towards the line in the Haas from second place. It's back to provisional pole at 38.780. The Haas now, provisional pole comes to him by less than 1/10 of a second, probably half a second there between the two. As Llama's still second place, but he's not sitting around watching this nonsense any longer. That Mercedes is going to want to come out and try and defend his position now in second place. About half a 1/10 of a second needed to get himself on that provisional pole spot. We know he has the pace. We know someone down in P12 could probably have the pace here to do so, as the time can easily be found in these sort of conditions. As Jensen is potentially on a lap, might be into the pit lane at the end of this one. No, he is down on the last sector. Carmad Carl's down. Luke M, though, he's up by 0.8 of a second in that first sector, all the way down now towards Sector 2. It's a very harsh braking zone here, but as I said, the track looks like it's drying so much. Looks a lot better than when we started. It might even be nearly dry by the end of the session. But Luke M in P11 with a 42.140 is just trying here to get it over the line with a better time. Gianfranco sets fourth here with a 40.3 and jumps right up the order with one of his first times. But Luke M has got a job to do from P12. I'm sure he would like to start in that top 10. Can he gain 2 places, even more potentially, across the line for the Red Bull and the battery being used? Luke M all the way up to 4th place on that qualifying time. It's a 39.8 and joins the 39 club. Absolutely love that for him then. Brilliant, brilliant lap time for Luke M, who now gets in the 39s. Karmad Kyle across the line. 2 whole seconds found now for him, who is on a 39.509 into P4. As Lama is just starting another lap and has got a car in front of him for a bit of a distant tow. Moves to the left-hand side. Now Lama gets through. Yellow flags as drivers are waiting now on the inside bends for, of course, the fast runners to come through. Lama has got a Red Bull in front of him and will offer a slight bit of a tow here. It's not looking too bad at all. He's up by nearly, well, 7.5 tenths of a second, nearly 8 tenths here. It is looking good for Lama in the Mercedes, who is only needing half a tenth to get on that provisional pole, and he's found 7.5 tenths at this moment in time. It is looking good. As he wraps it round the middle sector. A hard one to get right now towards the end of the middle sector line. He's up overall by 1.1 seconds, and the track getting so much quicker as the drivers go lap by lap over the top of it. Lama now down towards the harsh braking zone into the left-hander, spotting that 100-meter braking zone board. Foot flat on the brake pedal. Now turn the car in, back on the power. Make sure not to spin the rears, and now up towards the line for Lama, who is up so much on this lap time and now gets into the 37s. It's a 37.4. An incredible time for Lama here in the Mercedes, who gets ahead of Mr. Smith. Apparently yours says I'm considering slicks. Honestly, it does look a bit greasy out there, but you might potentially get away with it on the dry line. Not too sure. It's going to be very late, though, to make the call. And 22 people do join us now as well, everybody. So the full grid is here, which is what we like to see. And the final few lap times of this session will start to come in here. Karmad Kyle in the pit lane. Sorry, KHR in the pit lane. Karmad Kyle is out on the track. I didn't quite get to see that that middle, well, the first sector, but now towards the middle sector for the Red Bull, whose teammate is 2 places away from him, down in 6th place, and 6 tenths of a second found here for Kyle. It's looking very good indeed, and cannot afford to mess this braking zone up here. Cannot afford to go straight on into the runoff. Missed the turn in. Brownie now retires from this session in the Aston Martin. That looks like a big crash there on the left-hander bend. Karmad Kyle now towards the line with the low fuel mode, running as light as a feather, and across the line for him. It's the front row of the grid for the Red Bull. A 38.719 now for Kyle, who gets onto the front row. What a drive so far in this qualifying session. That's probably going to be his last time now with the low fuel mode on. Jensen starting the lap, Gianfranco as well. Matt Connor just about to cross the line to do one. It's Adam as well in P12, up towards the line here on one of his final lap times, unless he's going for one more, but making his way around. JF1 just joins as well. It's 41.229 for him as he crosses the line and is going to be starting another lap. Honestly, you might get away with the dries here, and I want to just check if anybody here decided to do so. Qualifying has complete then, everybody. I'm going to have a look. We have got some soft runners. Mr. Smith out there on the softs. Let's see what he can do then. Is he finding time? We've missed the first sector. Saban is on the softs and is up in the first sector slightly. Mr. Smith now is down by 0.4 of a second in the first sector. I've only just seen that. We're going to stay with Saban for a moment then, who was up, but never mind. The first sector, he is down a lot on these softs. Jensen then retires from the session. At the end of qualifying, the soft tyres not looking like they're working as much as people thought they might have. Lama back out on the track as well for his final few lap times, or final lap I must say, on the intermediate tyres, which have proved to be the best throughout this entire session. Round the left-hander and now flat to the floor with a 1/10.5 up. And all the way down towards the final few corners. Gianfranco at the end of qualifying takes second place with a great improvement. Matt Connor taking third. Mr. Smith going around won't improve then. Kian up towards the line, not looking like he's improving either, or maybe he is. Kian into 8th position. A brilliant start from him as Lama goes even quicker in the Mercedes. What a drive in qualifying for him. Greco in P12 not be improving. That is going to be it for your qualifying session, everybody. It is Lama who took the win in Australia last week, taking pole now here in Miami from Gianfranco on the front row of the grid, from Matt Connor third, Carmatco for Mr. Smith, rounding off the top 5. Next up then, the 50% race. Well, here is your finishing results, everybody. In pole position, taken by Lama by 7.5 tenths of a second there. And over Gianfranco and the Williams on the front row of the grid. Then Matt Connor and Carmad Kyle in 3 and 4, joined by Mr. Smith and KHR 5 and 6. Saban and Kian then in 7 and 8 is Luke M and Jensen, the 5th row of the grid, 9 and 10. As that is it, everybody, for qualifying. Next up is the 50% race. I mean, it should be a really good one. Should be a very good race indeed. I'm going to quickly take a look at the TikTok, as I haven't properly looked at that today. I've been in the Twitch. I've been spending a bit of time in the Twitch today instead. It's nice to see the TikTok doing well as well. We have got 20 people in the TikTok. I do apologise to everyone in there. I haven't been in here that much this evening, but make sure you stick around because we've got a great race on our hands. Hello, Jay. It's good to see you, mate. Welcome into the chat. Well, the formation lap will begin for the drivers, and this is for the Miami Grand Prix. A great race ahead of us, everybody, with 22 people and a full grid returning to the MOR Esports League. As Lama taking pole then from Gianfranco second place, Matt Connor third, Mr. Smith and Matt Connor both retire. Will disqualify themselves and will now wait on the grid. But I'm excited to see what the drivers can do here. I haven't commentated on this particular Monday tier, especially since the season has properly got underway. And that is what I am excited to see, the pace that these guys can bring. I commentate now for MOR, 6 p.m. Monday, 6 and 8 p.m. on Tuesday. I commentate 6 p.m. Wednesday, 8 p.m. Thursday, and then Saturday and Sunday I do both 6 p.m. and 8 p.m. on both. So a lot of commentaries, which is really, really good. And, of course, through that, I get to see majority of the drivers in this league. It's insane. Every single race that I go to, the difference in people that are here just puts it into perspective how many people actually actively race in this racing league and the growth from it over the past few weeks or, you know, maybe a month now. It's been, honestly, absolutely incredible to watch. We wait then for the final few drivers to line up on the grid. And then, everybody, we can get on with our racing action. With Bolt Will in the Alpine lining up dead last at the back. 22 drivers join us for a Grand Prix set beside the stadium. As Lama then from the front in the Mercedes. I think the lights have just bugged out. We might be getting a restart after that. I've got no idea. We are racing, everybody. It caught a lot of people off guard. I don't know if that's going to be continue on or not, but it's lagging pretty bad. Kian in second place somehow has had an amazing start from that one, and the lights looks like they just lagged out slightly at the start and caught many drivers off guard here. Lama managed to maintain the lead, but Kian in the Haas all the way up to second place on this race start. Gianfranco now is trying to take it away at the inside, taking it back on him then, side by side between them and into second place. Adam retires from the session, and it's a safety car already in the first lap as carnage in the mid-pack. Wings flying everywhere. A crazy start here as the lights bug out. The safety car comes out already. Well, what on earth has happened on that start? I've not seen anything like that. Well, looks like we continue on then. And, of course, behind a safety car now, so conditions a little bit different. They're going to have to slow it right down, and the whole pace of the race gets put to a halt. We barely even got started, but safety car here already. Honestly, I don't know why we needed it out, or, you know, Adam, out of the session, but it didn't seem too bad. There was a little bit of action going on mid-pack, though. The 29 laps of racing. Brownie with a 10-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Jensen in there as well, but not with a penalty, of course, for him. New tyres coming on, and the main reason they'll be pitting lap 1 is because of a damaged wing. New wing comes on here then for Jensen, as well as Brownie. Front end's getting changed. Now back out on the track. Lama leading, though, and behind the safety car. Gianfranco 2, Saban 3, Mr. Smith 4. And on the safety car, Kian has dropped down to 5th, but he's still up 3 places from where he started today. Best place today was second place on the start. An incredible start from him. Well, 14 people in the Twitch and a few more in the TikTok. Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. You are watching the Monday division here of MOR Esports at the 6 p.m. We have an 8 p.m. race coming up as well. But for this particular tier, the next race is Silverstone Reverse, then Madrid, Brazil, Shanghai, Canada, and Spa-Francorchamps to round off the season on the 8th round. That is going to be quite an exciting one indeed. I cannot wait till we get towards the end of the season. It's going to be pretty much a full week of commentating championship winners, and that is absolutely brilliant to do. It doesn't come round very often, as of course you would know. Championship winners, you don't crown one every weekend. And Adam being the only driver to retire, so 21 still here, which is what we like to see. Nice full grid, but fortunately do lose one at the start. Brownie's back in the pit lane. It might have been a mistake with the tyres that came on, as the tyres on your screen now, and he comes out on brand new mediums, gets those changed, and now we'll try and catch up behind the safety car. And hopefully it will be this lap that the safety car comes in. No reason for it to be out anymore. The third lap of 29 here in Miami. And the incident has been fully cleared away. Well, that is exactly what we want to see then. The safety car coming in at the end of this lap. Time to go racing again, and basically for the first time today, as we never really got racing off the start. A bit of a bugged light system on my screen, but it might have just been the game and maybe not for everybody else. The drivers then getting ready to go racing again. On to the 4th lap of 29. Lama in the Mercedes as your leader, from Gianfranco in 2nd place, Saban 3rd. Mr. Smith, Kian, Luke M, Carmad Kyle, Matt Connor, Kian and KHR round off the top 10 as the drivers go racing again, and normal grip straight mode and boost is restored, and the safety car goes in as we go racing once more, and Luke M is on the outside line here of Kian, who is just trying to hold on to this 5th place. Then he's done it just about for a minute. Luke M now dropping back to 6th. The Haas just managing to, open his arms now and get his elbows out and not let anybody through past him at this current moment in time. Luke M having to wait back just for a minute. That's going to allow his teammate now to start catching up. Carmad Kyle in the vicinity. It's Matt Connor as well, not too far back in 8th place. Then comes KHR going up to 9th ahead of Kian in P10. The other Kian, of course, as we have multiple here today. And look at this ahead. It's still going on between them. Matt Connor is going to go up the inside line. A lunge for the Audi on the Red Bull, and they come out level now. But ahead goes the Audi, and through he goes into 6th. What a move then from Matt Connor. A lot of commitment from that, as Bolt will with a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. But Kian has retired from the session, and that is a virtual safety car. What is going on, everybody? A safety car first, and then a VSC. Can you believe it? Having to wait once more, unfortunately, everyone. Well, Lama in the Mercedes got away really well, and at the minute looking the favourite to potentially win this or, hold on to the top 3. But Jay with a penalty. Bolt with a penalty now as well. So we've got Kian, Blake, Jensen, and Jack Plays all in the pit lane. Kian's come out now. Blake coming out as well on brand new mediums. It is new hards for Jensen, or the one lap hards that he probably put on at the start. Back out of the pit lane. Greco with a drive-through penalty now for speeding under the virtual safety car as the green flags are back out, and we are fully racing again then here in Miami. On the 5th lap of 29, and Mr. Smith just trying to put the pressure on Saban here, with only half a second behind him. And catching up now, but Saban is on the backside of Gianfranco and getting ever closer for this overtake in the Cadillac. Seems to have the speed then, perfect with the downshift. Sandler braking into the left-hander, now back on the power and the overtake mode as well for good measure. He's going to use his boost as he crosses the line, and the straight mode. Will he get through past this Williams just yet? Not just yet, as he's waiting for the right opportunity. Someone at the back has gone around here. It is Bolt Will. He's been swallowed up into the wall. He's done exactly what I did in one of my races only a few weeks ago. And into the wall there, smashing the front end of his wing off. And that is going to be a pit lane job to get that sorted, unfortunately, for Bolt Will. As Luke M then retires from the session, and you have to be kidding me. We have another safety car, everybody. Only 6 laps in, and we've had a safety car, a VSC, and now a full safety car again. Luke M has retired from the session in the Red Bull. It's Kian and Adam, both, all 3 out as well. Cannot believe we have another safety car. 3 forms of it in the space of 6 laps. A lot of pit stops coming in now, then this is something to keep an eye on, because Matt Connor comes out on new hards. We've had Hi-Fi now retiring. What is going on with these DNFs at the moment? Spadak Smooth then in the pit lane on the new mediums. Twitch Brands on the hards, Brownie on the hards as well. We've got people staying out though. The top 7 actually, are all out on the older tyres. Lama, Gianfranco, Saber, Mr. Smith, Carmad, Kyle, K, Char and Jarmin all out on the 6 lap old hards and mediums here. As Bolt will now receive a 3-second penalty as well, and I've got to say, they do start to rack up as time goes on, the time penalties. We've got 4 people retiring now as well. Hi-Fi, Luke M, Kian and Adam are all out of this session. But 18 remain from a full grid that we once had, and on the 7th lap now, going on to the 8th. It's a shame we've had all these safety cars on the start, I have to say, as the flow of the race really does get cut short. Well, this lap, I think, should be the safety car coming in. Lama in the Mercedes got away well. 7 laps on those mediums and seems to be holding together really well at the minute to, you know, well, for them to stay out like this. So I wouldn't worry too much if I was Lama. I think in quite a decent position. Kian had a great start, apparently. Yes, you did. I was shocked to see you all the way up in second place, mate. But what an effort, I have to say. What an effort that was. I thought it wasn't going to come in then, but it is now. Finally, the call gets issued, everybody, to go racing again. The third safety car in 8 laps. And finally, the drivers get ready to push on again for some more racing laps. We've lost Hi-Fi, Luke M, Kian, Adam, and potentially losing JF1 in a moment too. Around the final turn. The Mercedes sets the pace. The safety car already in the pit lane. Now out of the way. We go racing again here in Miami. Lama now towards the line. Has got Gianfranco behind him. Normal grip again. And we go racing once more with the green flags. Here comes Saban. Oh, missed it, Smith, as he forces him wide. Here comes Saban again, trying to come back at him on the inside line in the Cadillac, then on the Haas, side by side between them. It is going to be Saban into third place. Mr. Smith then drops down to 4th. And a great move then done there. Behind that, K. Char and Matt Connor, the teammates, come through in 5 and 6. Matt Connor up the inside of his teammate, though, forces him a little bit wider. And Matt Connor now takes 5th. His teammate will try and take it back, though, with the battery as well. Now he's going to use all of that battery as much as he can to catch up to his teammate for an overtake here, but it is not going to be enough just yet. Turns the battery off. Knows he probably shouldn't really do that. He just waits patiently behind for now. Oh, contact from behind, and KHR has gone around, hitting the wall slightly. And round goes the Cadillac as well. At the same time, Greycoat goes round two drivers spinning around on the same corner. It's like a fever dream. 2 people going around at the same time there. As Jensen looking like he was going to make a move, but we're just missing a move ahead of this then. Here comes Yamin up the inside as Padang Spoof. Around the outside for the McLaren, as he does try and get past that Alpine there, but unfortunately not able to. Behind that is Yamin then. Then comes Karmad Kyle, who is making that overtake when possible. Up the inside for the McLaren. Karmad Kyle now trying to take it away. It's Greycoat with a 10-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane, unfortunately. 10-second penalty can absolutely ruin you, especially when you're around people that are close. Maybe you can sort it out at this point in the race, but much longer and it can be worse. Bolt Will then hits the wall. Front wing damage again. What is going on in this race as now he comes out level between these two. Behind that, Jack Plays and JF1 trying to find their way back through. And Jack Plays might just send a lunge here. He doesn't. The Alpine, though, forcing that racing bullet into the barrier, into the wall then for Jensen as the front wing gets damaged. And can you believe it? Another safety car on the 10th lap of 29. 10 laps in, and we've had 4 safety cars, 3 full and 1 virtual. A bit of a joke, lads, don't you think? I cannot believe that. Another safety car. Absolutely insane. Jensen with the 10-second time penalty for a severe collision with Bolt there, which is pretty huge. Lama now in the pit lane, though, will get the tyres changed. It's brand new hards for him. But now, bear with us, everybody, because we're going to have to spend a few more laps behind this safety car now. Well, it has been an interesting race to say the least. Keane now with a 3-second time penalty. We're going to go to Saban at the front and just kind of wait around here for now to see what's going to be happening in the next few laps. We just bear with us, everybody, as we will get this safety car away. I'm just checking the TikTok as I'm not really in there. Jarman says, I got work at 8 a.m. tomorrow. Reckon we finish before it? Not sure, mate. Not sure. At this rate, it might go past that. Might have to call in sick. Is this a championship? Yes, it is. A championship. We've had one race in Australia. No, it's not a social race, mate. It is a championship event now. Darren Barrett, good to see you, mate. Welcome into the chat. Nice to have you back with us this evening. How many safety cars till now? It has been quite a lot. We've had 3 full safety cars, including this one, and a virtual safety car in this race at the minute. It's just been insane. And yeah, 12 laps in of 29. The starting lights went a bit weird as well, and it has been a bit weird from the off. Good to be back. How you been? I've been very good, mate. Hopefully you've been doing well too. It's Jensen with a 10-second time penalty, and the 10-second penalties, I've got to say, do start to rack up more than I thought they would. Who was first to commentate, you or JP? It was so. I don't know how long JP's been around as the commentator, but I believe I was the first one, as I commentated the first race in Belgium on the Tuesday division when the league first ever started. That was all the way back in about September last year, but it wasn't long before that, when JP got involved commentating, because I think he started doing the Thursday division, and that didn't open much longer after I started Tuesday. So I don't think the time difference is much, but I think I was here just before. But it is a bit of a weird one with me and JP. We have got the same name, and I get a lot of people as well that don't really watch the commentaries, like family and things like that, say that me and JP sound very similar in the commentary. So it is a little bit weird how similar we can be in some ways. Of course, same name as well. Jack, restart race for you. I don't have the power for that, unfortunately, mate. When's the Crossley JP commentary crossover happening? Honestly, I'm not sure when it would happen. I feel like it'd be at some sort of big event that we might be, having soon. So, or at some point, there's a lot that these guys do. So we'd have to think about that. Maybe something to do with Christmas at Christmas time or whatever. But yeah, there's nothing planned right now. There was, but that kind of fell through. Me and JP have partnered up before. There was a race we commentated. We did Kota for the Tuesday division, I believe, and that was pretty fun. Me and him did co-commentary. But it is good to have a co-commentator. If anyone was there to watch me co-commentate with Yala Boy as well in Abu Dhabi only a few weeks ago, that was very good. I think it gives you a bit of a different experience with the commentary. It means I can kind of take a bit more of a break, think about what I'm going to say. Yala can come in and give a bit more of an analysis, which is what he's better at. And I'm more better for, of course, calling what I can see. That's something that I think I lack compared to maybe Jarl, who's really good with the analysis. And I think JP's equally as good at that kind of thing. But lap 13 of 29. And finally, time to go racing again then, everybody. This is the third safety car. And time to get going once more. Battling then down towards turn one. It's Saban from Gianfranco in towards the first corner. Very glad to be racing again, I have to say. Into the first corner we go. It's the Alpine, who you can see potentially trying to make a move there on Matt Connor, but I think he's a little bit too far back to make that work at the moment. I can assure you the safety car has gone away, despite it saying at the top of the screen it's still here. A big bug in the F1 games that still needs to get sorted, but still hasn't. Lama now up the inside of Jarmin in the McLaren. That was an absolutely beautiful overtaking the Mercedes. Through he goes in the brand new hards compared to Jarmin's 13-lap-old hard compound tyres. And through goes Lama on a roll. Now he's got Spadang Spoof in front of him on his way to making overtake. In the chat, someone says a heart me. Thank you very much, mate. Really appreciate that. Lama braking late, nearly taking out the Alpine and Spadang Spoof there. Somehow managed to just about brake in time to make sure not to hit the backside of that Alpine. Spadang Spoof now trying to catch Matt Connor. The train continues all the way towards the final few corners, and a nice showing of 44 people in the TikTok and 13 in the Twitch at the moment. It's Matt Connor who holds fourth. Spadang Spoof tries at the inside line. The Alpine not giving that Audi any room to breathe. It is still level round the final few corners as Lama gets involved as well. Through goes the Mercedes then through past one. Now Matt Connor is next driver to overtake and sending the car through with so much confidence then in his move. It's Lama into four with a brilliant overtake. The Mercedes gets that done and dusted. What a move then for Lama, who is on the newer hards, breaking in to the pack up at the top that still haven't made a pit stop from the start. He's doing well. He's doing very well indeed, I have to say, as now he's at the inside line as Saban, who apparently leaves the session. And Saban losing all these places now after being under the AI. And carrying on for Lama, has now got Mr. Smith in front of him. Is this going to be the double overtake for the Grand Prix lead? Lama sends it up the inside line. Mr. Smith and Gianfranco hung out to dry. Lama to the race lead here in Miami for a moment. Still fighting it, but the move done and dusted. And through goes Lama. And as we speak of it, it's another virtual safety car. Oh, you're joking. You're joking. Another safety car is out. Another safety car is out on lap 15. That is four. Now 4 safety cars, which is insane, after Jensen retires from the session. And my theory in this is that the safety car has been set to either increased or standard, and we normally maybe have it on reduced. That is maybe why we're getting so many here. It's such a shame. Mr. Smith, Gianfranco, Matt Connor, Spadang Spoof, Saban, Jarmin, Brownie now coming through. They're all in the pit lane though. Continuing on is Lama, Brownie Twitch brands. Jack plays on the older tyres. JF1 stays out on the older tyres too. Greyco's on the 5-lap hold. Medians, he might as well carry on. A lot of pit stops coming in though. There's someone in the chat with the roses. Thank you very much, mate. Really do appreciate the gifts that you are sending at the minute. Really nice to have that. It's been an interesting one, I have to say. 16 laps in of 29. And getting through it slowly but surely. Prince Jarman in the chat with the even more gifts. Thank you so much, mate. Absolutely love to see that for MOR. Every single bit of money, you know, that gets raised by the streams does go right back into the league. I can assure you it goes into the nobody's pockets that run the league. It goes straight back into the league, reinvested for the commentary and all the different services it may need paying for. Of course, they've got the website running now as well, so it's not cheap to run a league of this scale. And nearly 50 people watching live. I do apologise, everybody. You've all come in at the wrong time here, as we are under a safety car. But in a few minutes, we should be racing again. So be patient with us, and the drivers will be at their full racing speeds in a minute. Just behind the safety car first, though, with the leading driver, Mercedes of Lama. Jensen, Bolt, Hi-Fi, Luke M, Kieran, and Adam all retired from the session, leaving us with 16 in this race. Unfortunately, 6 people have found themselves out, which is quite crazy, really. But this is the most safety cars I think I've seen ever in a race, or it might be, you know, on the verge. Well, safety car coming in then at the end of this lap, everybody. Finally, we can go racing again. I'm hoping this is going to be the last time we have to say this, and this can be a full race till the end now then. We are making our way really, really through this session. It feels like it's going quickly, to be honest, even though we've had a lot of safety car. It's a bit of a weird one how it feels like it's going quickly, but I can assure you it isn't. As, of course, behind the safety cars, sessions do take a bit longer. I'm probably looking at 50 minutes for this entire thing now instead of 40 that we usually get. But Lama in the Mercedes then ahead. We go racing again down towards the first corner. Not Brownie then will try and overtake the leader, but I don't think he's near enough to do so just yet. There's already wing flying as contact is made between a few drivers here. It's carnage off the start as they come through side by side then. Everybody within a few tenths of a second of each other. Matt Connor dropping down a place into the barrier again then for 2 drivers there. Save and Twitch brands coming together side by side between them. The Ferrari now dropping down to 10. He's round the outside line with no front wing left on his car, losing countless places now, down to P13. As Blake and Carmad Kyle in P10 and 11 find themselves battling along as well. Here comes these two battling. Here comes the Red Bull. Can he get ahead of the Mercedes? As he looks for that overtake on the outside. Now switching back underneath. Braking hard here to try and get ahead. Just hasn't worked out for him. As now he goes wide. And Kitten up the inside here of Carmad Kyle. He's done that move on the Red Bull. And successfully gets his way through. A crazy start then to the safety car restart here. And the Miami Grand Prix as Mr. Smith for an overtake on Brownie. Staying in the slipstream. Now to the outside line he goes. Mr. Smith doing everything he can around the outside in towards the final few of the Miami Grand Prix circuit. And up towards the line then. Will he be the leader as we cross the line for lap 19? I think he will. It's Lama 1, Mr. Smith to 2. It's not Brownie now, down to 3. And that move has been done. Gianfranco in 4, Spadang Spoof, in 5. Matt Connor 6, Jarman 7. Saban 8 now as Blake and Greco battling side by side between the two of them. Greco now on the outside line here as Saban, and nearly contact on the wheels between them as Brownie picks up a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings here. As Keane getting much closer here to Blake. Right on the backside, Blake getting closer to Greco as well. You never quite know which way it's going to go between these guys. Keane watching this at the front as it's all cracking off now into the left-hander. Which driver comes out in front here is the Mercedes of Blake, who comes out from that. Then Greco, then KHR, who's now on the outside line of the Red Bull and potentially trying to get through past the Cadillac as well when he finds a bit of a gap. Contact on the left-hand side barrier for Greco there, I think, and that might be wing damage. As on the battery, on the power again for KHR, who came third in the first round of the season in Australia, is coming level with Greco now down towards the final few corners, braking hard to try and take this place away. Will it be enough to do so? It will, and into P10 he goes. As Gianfranco then down to P15. Behind that, these guys still battling along, won't leave each other alone. Carmad Kyle trying to find his way through there on Greco. Can't do so at the minute. We are on lap 20 of 29. 9 remaining laps then of this Grand Prix. Lama ahead by 2 seconds over Mr. Smith. Then from Matt Connors, Spadang Spoof, not Brownie, who's fell down to 5th. And involved in a battle as Saban goes through to 5. Brownie 6 now, Jarman in 7. John in the McLaren trying to come back. And a lunge up the inside for the McLaren ahead of the Aston Martin. 3 goes then into 6th. And the back end comes out. It's round then blocks the Aston Martin. Jarman down to 9 now as the Aston Martin of Brownie gets blocked. Somehow managed to continue on there though. Wow, that was insane. As Secret Burlap in the chat with 50. You're awesome. Thank you very much, mate. Thank you so much for the gifts. As we are getting some nice viewing today. It does seem to be all down to the fact that we've had a lot more likes in this stream. There's more people joining because of the likes that we've had. The likes make a huge difference. They really do. So thank you very much, everybody that has liked in this particular stream. Here comes the Audi of KHR then, potentially trying to make that dive there. Managed to just wait back, didn't do it just yet. And now switching back, slight contact on Brownie. It's KHR giving it everything, trying to maximise everybody's space. Potentially a switch back underneath there, but it didn't work out this time. Back on the power, back on the battery. Brownie's barely got any battery left, and watch this now. He'll run out of battery. Keep burning for KHR, and there you go. It is basically a sitting duck there for Brownie as he gets overtaken by the Audi. And up the inside for Jarman, who's getting involved in the action as well. Into 8th for him as Brownie down to 9, and Carmad Kyle drops down to P10. There's lap 22 at 29. Llama ahead in the Mercedes is doing a very nice job, I have to say. 1.2 seconds ahead of the rest. And hasn't got that many laps to go before he can claim that Grand Prix win. It's been fairly decent from him, not really a foot wrong. As these guys still battling, KHR and Blake, who's now involved in all of the commotion. Catching up with the Mercedes of Blake, but not looking like he'll be able to make that overtaking KHR just yet. There isn't too long to get it done as somebody hits the wall slightly there. Bit of wing damage potentially. Round though goes Greco in that Cadillac. What a shame then for him, as he's back on, but much out of this race now. Must be a painful feeling, but I do really respect the people that continue on, I have to say. Of course, the league, the drivers have had it drilled into them not to retire when you don't need to. So at the moment, it's looking good. 6 people have retired, but still 16 remaining, and only 6 more laps of this Grand Prix. With Llama out in front then. Here we go. Let's see. What can we see? The action kind of died down between the mid-pack, but these guys here are still bringing it, and it's KHR on the backside of Spadang Spoof, who just got a little bit trigger-happy on the rears. Now he's going to try and get in the slipstream off him, burn that battery off as well. And as the fuel comes off, he'll start to get quicker and quicker and quicker to the outside line now of the Alpine. Should be an easy pass if he brakes late enough, but he didn't really, and that is going to be P6 for him. He's going to have to hold it, or at least try and fight back on him. Not enough to get through. It's KHR holding 6th in that Audi, and just waiting for the right opportunity here. Brownie is out. How Brownie's out, I do not know, in that Aston Martin. But it's another driver to add to the list of retirees, which is such a shame. We've had somebody else send some roses. Thank you very much to everybody that is sending the gifts and the roses. They really are appreciated here at MOR. And if you haven't followed the TikTok already or the Twitch, make sure you do. Oops, hang on a minute. Went on to the... There we go, we are back. It's Karmad Kar with a time penalty. And let's just take a look at the penalty, shall we, in the remaining stages here. It is 6 for Spadang Spoof, 6 for JF1, then 3 for Karmad Kar, Kian and Greco. 3 of them with the 3-second penalties. They're not really going to affect much. Of course, it is good to see that we don't have those time penalties up at the top of the grid today, as the drivers have worked very hard for those positions, and a time penalty would completely screw it up. But saying that, there is quite a bit of a gap between the drivers up at the front. Mr. Smith is starting to catch here, though, and we need to keep an eye on this. 0.8 of a second behind Llama. Mr. Smith wasn't in the top 3 in Australia, but he looks like he might be the main talking point from this race here. In second place at the minute. Llama in front, gap 8/7. He's on the 9-lap-old mediums. Llama on the 14-lap-old hards. Realistically, Mr. Smith should have an advantage at the moment. There's now Spadang Spoof is out. Crashes off the track here. straight off. Honestly, surely intentional from Spadang Smooth, as he is off then in P13 and now out. That is another driver to add to the list. It's Spadang Smooth, Brownie, Jensen, Bolt, Hi-Fi, Luke M, Kian and Adam, who all retired from the session. It's painful to see, but even then, the racing that we have had now and then has been very nice. Too many safety cars, though, unfortunately, in this particular race. Across the line for Lama, lap 26 to 29. There's about 3 or 4 laps to go now of this session. Mr. Smith is closing the gap. I'd be worried if I was Lama now. No time penalty for Mr. Smith to ruin, you know, this this dramatic charge. The Haas is absolutely on the ball here, and with the right technique, he can absolutely catch Lama here to make that overtake. Just look at how close he's leaving it. Look at how close he's getting with only a few laps left, everybody. Mr. Smith in the Haas is catching the driver that has led this race for the vast majority of it. We may have a change of the lead very, very soon. Something I wasn't expected to see. And maybe say this early. Taking out the race leader is Mr. Smith. Continues on then. The Mercedes tries to carry on. He does let him pass there. Mr. Smith knows his wrongdoing. Does let him back past, and now has to try and fight back at him. And that's now put 0.6 of a second between them after a late lunge and dive up the inside line. JF1 now with a 3-second time penalty. There's only a few laps left of this race, and Lama looking good to win this, but has the problem with Mr. Smith, who just will not let go. He's bringing the gap down again. At the back, Gianfranco and JF1 seem to change places here. We didn't catch that. We have just about missed Saban and Carmad as well, as these guys swap around. Someone says, can you do F1 24? I personally can commentate it, but I don't think you can race it in this league. Maybe something they'll expand to in the future if there is enough you know, people wanting to do that. But honestly, I don't know if the community that will want that is big enough to get full grids every week. But Lama then across the line, starting the penultimate lap of the race from Mr. Smith, and the gap's gone down to gone up to 9 tenths now. So it might be a bit of a struggle for Mr. Smith to do this in the 2 laps that he's been given now. Saban takes the fastest lap, and we have 70 people in the TikTok. If you haven't followed the MOR TikTok already, make sure you go ahead and do that. And stick along for the ride then. The final few laps of this Miami Grand Prix here on the Monday 6 p.m. tier, where it has been quite an enjoyable one, to say the least. It's been a bit of a roller coaster, to be honest, with the safety cars and the VSCs and things like that. But you finally got some good patch of racing towards the end. As KHR and Matt Connor, the teammates, find themselves going at it at the very end. KHR with the inside line. Matt Connor just drops back here on the medium tyres. 12 laps old. They might start to be dying off now. And he does drop back behind his teammates. Still seems to have the fight in him, though. And the Audi not looking too bad here. Just can't catch his own teammate. Around towards the final lap where Mr. Smith is 0.6 of a second behind the driver who has led this race basically every single lap. Lama's looked absolutely brilliant all afternoon long. 18 laps on these hards, 13 laps on the mediums for Mr. Smith, and the gap half a second. I'm sure it's going to come down on this last lap as this Haas driver is going to give it absolutely everything towards the end to try and win this Miami Grand Prix. You can see it slipping away. You can already see it slipping away when he made that late lunge up the inside line and had to give the place back, losing countless tenths of a second from that and setting back. And since then, he just never seemed to have that pace that he had beforehand. Down to 4 tenths, burning so much battery here. 20% for Lama, who's on the low fuel mode. Might even run out before the line. He's on the red low fuel mode here. This is good for Mr. Smith as the gap comes down to 3 tenths. We could have a completely different race winner here through the final chicane and now down the back straight here in Miami with 3 tenths the gap. Mr. Smith with a final corner, which was pretty awful, to be honest, and nowhere near where he'd like to be. Falling back on the leader of Lama, who has both of the drivers on low fuel mode, but Lama been on that for a bit longer. Seems like he's going to make it just in time, though. And in the nick of time, the line arrives here in Miami. Lama across the line then with the Haas behind him. It's Lama in the Mercedes with a very nice win. 29 long laps and finally can get the closure that he needs. It's a win in Miami for the Mercedes of Lama. Mr. Smith then for second place. And then KHR will cross the line now for the final spot on the podium in third, followed by Matt Connor 4. It'd be Saban 5. Blake then across the line for 6th. Jarman 7. Carmad Kyle will cross the line now in 8. As Jack Plays will take it in 9th when he gets there. P10 will be Gianfranco a little bit further down the road. What a crazy race that was then. Absolutely crazy. Keane taking 11. JF1 then 12. Greco will be 13 and Twitch Brands will be 14 when he finally reaches the line. And that is it, everybody. The Miami Grand Prix done and dusted. What a race. Right then, everybody, the finishing results and a very nice race this afternoon. It's the race winner of Lama from Mr. Smith from KHR, your top 3. What a race. Interesting one, to say the least, but still fun all the way through. Matt Condon then 4, Saban 5, Blake 6, Jarmin 7, Carmad Kyle 8, 9, Jack Plays, and 10 is Gianfranco to round off the top 10 here for the Miami Grand Prix. What a race, everybody. Next week should be a little bit better. Let me just check. We go to Silverstone Reverse. That'll be an interesting one. Very, very much so. Make sure you're there for it then, everybody. Monday night, 6 o'clock. I think JP will be with you now for the 8 p.m. In about 35 minutes' time. Make sure you stick around for the stream like you have done with me. Have a good evening and good night, everybody.